Good morning, everybody. Welcome to yoga. You will be seeing a couple big dogs come and go here for a minute or two. Um, we just had our first snowstorm of the season, and our snowblower is broken. So there is no getting out for me in my little car in the next hot minute. So we're going to be doing it from here. Our first day of being below zero in these parts, and takes a little getting used to again. Yes, this is Tegan. She'll also be coming by. Okay. And this is Hazel, and she'll also be coming by. And then hopefully they'll just leave me alone. Kick up. This morning, let's take and focus on some. I think we did some really good grounding work last week. I think this morning, let's work on a little bit of overall stretching, and then let's do a little bit more work with our Tegan, our downward dog and upper dog transitions. Okay, my apologies. Being a dog mom is not easy. Um, I think that it's a really good combination. The upward downward dogs build strength, coordination, and balance. And so we're going to spend a little bit of time just doing some transitions from one to the other. If the more we do them in a series or a flow kind of movement, the more benefits it creates for your spine. Your spine is able to really increase its flexibility, and it strengthens it, and all the little muscles around the spine that run down on both sides, as well as the core, all really have to kick in to stabilize those movements. So building a strong core, like I've said before, is incredibly important, and we're gonna continue to work on that this week and kind of make that our focus of um, just some overall stretching, but really building a solid core. Okay, so let's start out in a simple cross-legged pose. Let's just take a couple minutes here, unwind, quiet the mind. Let's go ahead and keep those shoulders back. Nice deep breaths. And try to feel those breaths start from the belly and travel up through the chest and out the nose. And let's take a moment and focus on making our exhales at least as long, if not longer, than our inhales. So for every count that you inhale, let's try to keep that same count stretched out for our exhales. So let's try an inhale count of 3 and exhale for 3. A couple more times. Inhale for 3 and exhale for 3. And one more time. Inhale and exhale. And let's go ahead, take a deep inhale, bring those arms up, hands reaching up towards the ceiling. And exhale, release. One more time. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, release. Let's go ahead, keep that butt planted, walk those arms forward, really trying to let the shoulders stay down here, let the head rest. And then let's just walk the hands over to that left side. And back to center. And over to the right side. Back to center. And then slowly bring the hands back up. Let's go ahead and take that left arm across the body and just place the right hand in front of it for some leverage. Get a good stretch for that shoulder and the arm. The shoulders get worked a lot during downward dog, so it's important that we make sure they are warmed up and stretched before we begin. That helps prevent any tension and muscle soreness, as well as potential injury in the muscle. And then release. Let's do the other side. And release. Let's go ahead, bring that left arm up. Hold on to that left elbow, or the left elbow with the right hand. Nice deep breaths here. And release. And do the same with that right arm. And release. And let's just bring the hands behind the back, interlock those fingers, gently pull the hands a few inches away from the body, keeping those shoulders down. And just take a few nice deep breaths here, getting a good stretch for the chest and the front of the shoulders. And release. Let's go ahead and come over onto our hands and knees, warm up that spine with a cat-cow. So we're going to start by taking a deep breath in. As you do that, let the belly dip towards the floor, lift the head up, shoulders stay back. And then exhale, let's take and arch that back up, tuck that tummy in towards the belly or towards the spine, and keep the head down. And then release to neutral. One more time, let's dip that belly, lift the head. And then arch the back, tuck the chin to the chest. And release. And let's just take a couple of nice deep breaths here. And I want you to ground your hands into the floor, spread those fingers apart, come up to the toes, and then slowly come up to your downward dog. Nice deep breaths here. Just get used to the motion, and then try to keep pressing away from your hands, body weight down through the backs of the legs and the heels. A few more nice deep breaths here. And then come back down to the knees. And let's sit back on the heels. And a couple of nice deep breaths here. Come back to the hands and knees. Push back up into the downward dog, away from those hands. And go ahead and just pedal the feet so we can get a nice stretch for the back of the legs. Come back to both feet. Let's go ahead, come back down to the knees. Sit back on the heels. Take another little break here, just warming up those shoulders good, because just like when you're in any kind of plank position, the shoulders and arms have a lot of support and they need a lot of strength. So we don't want to burn them out right away. Right, let's come back to the hands and knees, back to downward dog. Breathe through it here, just keep taking deep breaths. And then we're going to come down to hands and knees and come down all the way onto the belly. Keep the hands just about chest level. And all we're going to do here is just push up, keeping your elbows bent, warming up the spine this way so that we don't overextend it right away. And then come back down. Place the elbows down in front of you, hands in front of the elbows, and then just come up, pressing down through those hands, down through the shoulder blades. If you feel any discomfort in the lower back, when we come up into our full upward dog, just be careful of that, be mindful, and you might want to stay here for the time being, instead of going into the full upward dog when we get there. And then come back to the chest. Go ahead and push yourself up. Hands and knees into downward dog. Back to the knees. Come down to the belly. Take those hands by the chest again. Let's come up one more time, halfway with the elbows bent, shoulders back. Lower down, hands in front, push up on the hands, and then just walk the hands back towards you a little bit so you get that nice arch in the back, shoulders down. Back to the floor, up to hands and knees, into downward dog. Come into a plank position and then lower yourself all the way down. And then up into upward dog. And remember, if this is too much for your lower back, keep the hands out here or keep the elbows bent. Okay, you're still getting a nice arch in your back. From here, come down, push yourself back up into downward dog. Into a plank, lower down. Let's just do up onto the elbows this time, and then up, straightening the arms. Back down, push yourself up into downward dog, and just breathe here for a few seconds. And then go ahead, come down to the knees. Let's just sit back on the heels. Take a few minutes or a few seconds here. Let those muscles calm down a little bit. Let the heart rate come down a little bit. And let's go ahead, open those knees. Slide the arms forward into child's pose. Just let that head rest down. And then slowly walk the hands back. And we're going to come over onto our butts, and we're going to work on our boat pose a little bit to help strengthen the core. So we're going to do it today in two different ways. We're going to start by lifting those feet and just holding on to the back of the legs. Try and keep that back as straight as possible, shoulders back. Couple more nice deep breaths here. And then come back down. We're going to take a second just to rest. And that is what we call half boat. And now we're going to move into full boat. So we're going to bring the legs up, straighten the legs if you can, straighten the arms out if you can. And it's okay if you're a little wobbly here, if your legs are a little shaky. If you need to, come back to this or come down and rest for a second and then come back in. I want you just to keep focusing on the core here and the abs. That'll help keep, if you keep your abs engaged, that'll help take pressure off the lower back. And come down. Good work. Let's turn towards the center. Let's just bring those feet together for a minute. Hold on to the toes. And just release the weight of the legs. Good, and then come up. Bring the hands to the ankles, opening the chest, and just letting those legs drop towards the floor. Good. Now let's come over and let's come all the way up into a standing forward bend. And when you're doing these, it's okay to always keep a small bend in the knees, especially when you're just coming into the first one. And then let's slowly roll all the way up. Relax those shoulders back. And let's just keep the feet grounded onto the floor. Keep the eyes just looking forward, shoulders back. And even when you're in poses like mountain pose, where you're seemingly just standing, try to always keep that core engaged. Let's go ahead, take a nice deep breath, inhale, bring the arms up. And exhale, release. One more time, inhale, arms up. And exhale, release. Let's go ahead, open those feet a little bit wider. Hinge down from the hips into a forward fold. Let's just hold on to the elbows. Get a good stretch for the back of the legs and the glutes. And if this is putting too much pressure, just bend the knees a little bit. And then drop the hands to the floor. And let's walk those hands towards that left foot. And back to center. Over to that right side. And back to center. And then slowly roll back up. We're going to walk through our warrior poses. So we're going to start with that left heel down, right knee bent and forward. Let's just bring the hands up. reaching up through the fingertips. You want to spread your fingers on this one as if each fingertip is reaching up. Keep that front knee bent. Just keep it behind the toes. Nice deep breaths here. From here, we're going to transition into Warrior Two, looking over that right hand. And let's drop that right elbow down to the right knee. Extend that left arm up into extended side pose. Come back to center. And let's switch the feet and do the same thing on that other side. And then we're going to repeat that one more time. So let's go ahead, bend that left knee, right toes at an angle. Bring the arms up, fingers spread, shoulders down. From here, transition into your Warrior Two. And down into extended side angle pose. Nice deep breaths, keeping that core engaged. Back to center. And let's just take a minute to breathe here. Let the body settle down. And then let's move back onto the right side for Warrior One. So left foot at that angle. Right knee bent, arms up. And then into Warrior Two. Dropping that elbow down, extended side pose. Back to center. And let's switch sides. Bending that left knee, coming into Warrior One. Fingers up towards the ceiling. And into Warrior Two. And into side angle pose. And when you're in this side angle pose, you really want to take some deep breaths in through the entire side. And come back to center. Let's walk those feet together, turn towards the side. Let's go ahead, take a nice deep breath in, arms up, and exhale down into standing forward bend. And then we're going to come down to the hands, step the legs back, and come into your downward dog. Couple more nice deep breaths here. And then come down to the knees. Go ahead and sit back on the heels. Take a couple of nice deep breaths here. And we're going to come down onto our back. And whenever I do boat, like we did, I like to do a bridge as well. That really helps strengthen the core, the abs in a different way. So you're engaging the different muscles. Just go ahead and come down. Keep the arms at the side, hands into the floor. And let's just lift the hip and butt up. Keeping those shoulders gently grounded into the floor and the feet. Let's take a couple more nice deep breaths here. And then slowly lower back down. Nice deep breath to release and relax for a minute. And then let's go ahead, come back up. This time, if you can, bring those fingers together, interlock the hands underneath the body. And then slowly lower down. Let's go ahead and just take the knees into the chest, give them a little squeeze in. If you want, you can rock from side to side here. That sometimes helps loosen up the hip joints a little bit too. And then bring them back to the floor. Let's extend that left leg and just bend that right knee in. Nice deep breaths here. And let's go ahead, take that right hand to the inside of the right leg and just press that right leg open towards the floor. And the more that you keep your left side grounded, the more opening you're going to do on this right side. And then bring that knee back to center. Left hand to the outside of that knee. Stretch it over the body to the left. Just let that right arm relax. Back to center. Squeeze that knee in once again. Release the leg. Same thing on that left side. Left knee in. Nice squeeze in towards the chest. And then take the left hand to the inside of that left knee. Drop that left leg open to the left. Bring the left knee in. Bring that right hand to the outside of the left knee and bring the leg over the body to the right. Back to center. Hug that left knee in one more time. And release. Let's go ahead and keep both knees bent. And let's just bring those feet together, letting the knees drop open to the sides. We're really focusing on opening through the hips right now and those inner thighs. So if you want to take the heels of your hand and just press them and alternate sides, this really helps stretch some deep muscles in there. And especially when we work the core, We want to make sure that we take care of all the muscles around it. And then release the hands. Go ahead and extend them up overhead. Let the shoulders relax here. And then bring the arms around. Let the hands rest on the belly. And just focus on taking some deep breaths in from the belly. Letting the belly press the hands out on each inhale. And just letting that belly sink into the floor on each exhale. Let's keep that left hand on the belly. Bring the right hand up to the chest. And just feel each breath move like a wave, belly up through the diaphragm, the chest. Gently exhaling through the nose. And let's keep that right hand on the chest. Bring that left hand up to the forehead. And let the touch of your hand relax the forehead. Let go of any tension you're holding between the eyes. And just take a few deep breaths here. And then release the hands. Let the arms drop open to the floor. Extend those legs out. And just ground the entire body into the floor. Feeling completely supported on the back side of your body. Allowing the front of the body to feel light and open. Try to keep your mind as clear as possible. And just focus on the gentle wave of breath. Feel the heat in the body that you created. Just gently begin to move the fingers and the toes. And then slowly bend the knees. And go ahead and let's roll ourselves on up. We're going to come into a simple cross-legged pose again. And we're going to work on a little bit more of that deep breathing. And I want you to do this at your own pace with your own natural flow of breath. Just keeping the hands on the knees, Back nice and straight. Shoulders back. Core engaged. Let's start with our three counts inhaling, 3 counts exhaling. We're going to do that 3 times, and then we're going to move into 4 counts each. So I want you just to do this at your own pace, 3 of 3s and 3 of 4s. And then whenever you're done, just go ahead and take a nice deep breathe in, bring those arms up, reaching those fingers up. Exhale, we're going to bring the arms down and just come forward, stretching out. Inhale, bring the arms in. Exhale, release. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, breathe in. Exhale, release. One more time. Inhale in, arms up. Exhale, down. Inhale, come in. Exhale, release. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, let's bring those hands down the body into the heart center. Thank yourself for doing an awesome job and getting up and doing yoga with me today. Have a great rest of your day. I will see you on Wednesday. Namaste.